Facing up to hearing loss in the workplace. For 2 long years, I struggled in a nursing role when it suddenly became more difficult. Working on a busy hospital ward during night shifts proved to be challenging when trying to understand speech. It was a fast paced environment, and I noticed I wasn't hearing people as well if they were some distance away or when they weren't facing me. Also, the wards were dark, so I couldn't see faces as well to help me lip read. Colleagues whispered so as not to disturb the patients, and I couldn't hear. I had started to wear hearing aids, and this helped to a degree, but I was still struggling. My tinnitus was getting worse, constantly ringing in my ears. A colleague mentioned that I had not heard her, and I was in my own little world. I knew why. I just didn't want to admit it to myself or to anyone else. I was afraid. I thought my job would be taken away from me and I'd be unemployed, without income, and with little hope of getting another job. I found it hard to accept and tell others why I may ignore them when spoken to. The telephone was also difficult, and I worried I'd mishear vital information. The answer was simple. I just had to admit to my boss that I was experiencing loss of hearing. I didn't realise there was plenty of help and support out there for me, and that it was easily accessible and relatively inexpensive. At the time, I felt it was only me who was facing the worry and impact of my hearing loss while struggling to hold down a job. I didn't see beyond my own concerns. I looked fine and sounded fine, but couldn't hear properly, and everything became incredibly stressful. Hearing loss is an invisible disability, and no one can see what the problem is. You can easily be misjudged and feel helpless and isolated on the outer fringes of things. Finally, after 2 years, I approached my occupational health provider and explained the difficulties I was experiencing. At last, I had spoken out loud about it and felt I had made a start. The best thing of all was that they took immediate action by commissioning a specialist hearing loss workplace assessment, which proved to be life changing. There was a vast range of equipment to help me, which I had no idea existed. I'd found out about specialist equipment to work with my hearing aids to help me hear speech from a distance and in background noise. It gave me back control of who I actually wanted to listen to and added another layer of quality to my hearing aids. I was raring to go. I felt so much happier. Once my pace quickened, I found the confidence to tell my work colleagues that before I hadn't been able to hear very well, but now that I have the right support, I felt so much better. Naturally, everyone else felt happier too. They understood and felt relieved and could also offer me support if I needed it. Most of all, it meant I could perform my duties as efficiently as before and keep the job I love. My colleagues also had deaf awareness training to help them understand how to assist and communicate with me in the best ways. If you're suffering in the workplace due to not hearing clearly and feel isolated, lonely, and tired due to the extra concentration involved in trying to hear, then stop. Acknowledge you have a problem with your hearing and get a workplace assessment. It will help to increase your productivity, benefit your colleagues, and enhance the positive reputation of your organisation. The digital market is constantly evolving, and assistive technologies for people with hearing loss abound. An assessment will be conducted in a professional and confidential manner and as unobtrusively as possible to minimise impact or disturbance. Hearing loss needn't mean job loss, so talk to the relevant people and get your working life back on track. To find out more, visit www.visualizetrainingandconsultancy.com or email info@visualizetrainingandconsultancy.co.uk.